After 19 seasons and more than 300 goals scored for Feyenoord, Arsenal, Manchester United, Fenerbahce and the Dutch national team, Robin Van Persie has retired from playing football. On the 12th of May, his last game for Feyenoord ended up in defeat against ADO Den Haag. And after the match, I caught up with him. It's over, your football career is over, so how do you reflect?
With a very proud feeling. With ups, a few downs, privileged to have played so many big games, to play for big clubs, and as well to live abroad for almost 14 years. I think it enlightens your life to learn about different cultures, and really proud. Lived 8 years in London, 3 in Manchester, 2.5 in Istanbul, and now we're back home.
Well, you do call home, in one interview I read, England.
Yes, yeah, it's my second home really. If you spend so much time in a country, in a beautiful country, then of course then it feels like home as well. And we might end up there sooner or later. You never know how life goes. But I loved our time there.
We'll welcome you back, don't worry. You kind of burst onto our radar at Arsenal as a young boy. I think it was 2005 that you joined, and Arsenal had been the Invincibles, unbeatable when you arrived, and during your time at the club they became the club that couldn't win any trophy. So you were there for 8 years and won FA Cup for one of the real great players in the modern era. How frustrating was that? That
FA Cup we won in my first year with a penalty shootout against Manchester United. But it is a team sport. It is not that you can only look at the amount of trophies me or any player won, because you're doing it together. We came close a few times. We lost the Champions League final, lost a couple of Carling Cup finals, won the Community Shield the year after we won the Cup. But it was a fantastic time. If I look back at my period at Arsenal, it makes me really proud, because I came as a little boy playing together with Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Pires, Sol Campbell, Touré. It was a dream. I was like a kid in a sweet shop. So that was really, really special, and I learned so much just by looking at these guys and see how they behave, how they live, how they play and train. So that was crucial for me.
The Football Daily from BBC Sport and BBC 5 Live.
In the summer of 2012, Robin Van Persie took a decision that shaped the rest of his career.
From my side, definitely, and I think from Arsenal's side as well, there's no hard feeling. It's just on certain elements which were vital for me. We had a different view. That's life. When you have to make a hard decision in your life, I always listen to that little boy inside of me, and what does he want, you know? And that boy was screaming for Man United.
The Dutch striker moved to Old Trafford for £24 million after 8 seasons at Arsenal. You were on your way to being immortalised there. You scored so many goals in the last 2 seasons, and in the final season you were the captain. The fans were worshipping you. And then you moved to Manchester United, and they were the Arsenal supporters were very badly hurt by that, and they were bitter towards you. Do you look back on that or your time at Arsenal with any sort of sadness?
No, not at all. And as well, it's during that whole process of leaving, me and Arsene Wenger never had an argument or a big fight. We just sometimes on certain levels we had different ideas, and it is as well in life. Sometimes you need a new challenge, you know. And after 8 years Arsenal, I felt I needed a new challenge. But I cannot say one bad word about Arsenal Football Club. It is a beautiful football club. I had a fantastic time there. I arrived as a little boy and left as an adult, as a mature player. So I don't have a bad feeling towards anyone at Arsenal, and I'm thankful towards them for the chance they've given me, for the mistakes I made over the years, because I took a few silly red cards over the years, but Arsene still put me on. And just the whole family feeling of the club was really good for me and important. No, and I get that the fans were angry with me. Like you said, I was the captain, top scorer. We became third in that year. But just sometimes you feel that you need a challenge, a new adventure. And it ended up in a move to Manchester United. And thank God I won the league there, together of course. We won the league, and yeah, that made it special for me, because that was the target, to win the league. And but no, and I don't compare Arsenal and Manchester as well. It is not honest to compare both clubs, because they're both top clubs, fantastic clubs, different kind of clubs, but both special in their own way.
The move started as an absolute dream. Yeah. I don't think there's a signing of the modern era that's worked out quite that well for the impact it was intended for and the end result. Yeah. But then Sir Alex Ferguson left, the man you had come to sign for. How big a blow was that for you that he went after that amazing first season?
Yeah, there was a blow, because the idea was for him to stay at least 3 years. But in football, you know how football goes. It moves so fast and it changes every day. So you have to deal with that. That's how it is. So he was one of the big reasons why I signed, but as well to play with proper real men like Rio, Vidic, these type of guys. And over the years I've played with proper mature football players like Thierry Henry or Bergkamp. But there was as well a reason to go and join them. So in that first year, everything coming together was really special, and I got half the chances I got the year before at Arsenal. I got at Manchester United, and I scored almost the same amount of goals. So then you just know that it goes your way. And I got help from other guys, from my colleagues, from Sir Alex. Sir Alex really pushed the guys to pass the ball to me. And then if it goes in on the crucial games and the crucial moments, yeah, then after a few months, I think everyone at the club had the feeling like, okay, this is going to be our year. Difficult games we won, and the balls, even lucky goals, were going in. When you know it's going your way, then that was that year.
Do you feel you left too soon? I've seen many Manchester United fans who are watching what's happening now and seeing your retirement as well, thinking we should have kept him for longer.
Yeah, but that's always easy afterwards, you know, if you look back at it. Maybe because I had one more year on my deal, maybe I should have stayed. But then Louis van Gaal was the coach. He made it quite clear what his intentions were. So then you have to make a decision. Do you stay and fight for your place? Will it be an honest competition or not? And based on all that info, we've sort of decided to move on. And okay, 3 years. 3 years is not 3 days. It's still a long period. It's still a big part of my football career. And in total 11 years of football in England, and as a kid I would never have dreamed of that, you know. So I like to look at the bigger picture and of my 11 years in England, and that gives me a very proud feeling. Yeah.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager now.
Yeah.
Things are going particularly badly since his appointment. They've missed out on the Champions League.
Yeah, okay, since his formal appointment.
Yeah, and they've missed out on the top four after such a promising start.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think he's the right man for the job? Did they make that decision too early?
Yeah, but that's funny, yeah, because when he started, everyone was so positive, and they were winning, and they even made it a miracle by beating PSG, and then everyone was screaming like, give the guy a permanent deal. And then since that permanent deal, the luck went sort of away a little bit. They've been losing more games than they want to. But he got a 3-year deal, if I'm correct. Everyone should look at the bigger picture. I think his presence, the way he sort of presents the club is the proper way, in my opinion. He's positive, he wants to achieve big things with the club. And that is the only way forward, in my opinion. And he's a man of the club. He played there for more than 10 years. He won the Champions League. Actually, his goal got them the Champions League. So he has a big part over the years of the club. He's been a coach of the reserves, if I'm correct. So he's Manchester United. So similar in a different way to Ferguson, he was Manchester United. And Solskjaer is Manchester United as well. So I think it's a perfect match. It's just having a bad spell. Yeah, everyone has that at a certain time. He had a fantastic first period. Now the last 12 games have been tough. Okay, but next season they have to pick themselves up and go again.
But do they need major changes in terms of the structure and the players if they're going to get back to the level that they expect as a club?
Yeah, in that way I'm a little bit old school because major changes, what do they do? Arsene stayed at Arsenal for 24 years or so, Sir Alex for 26 years. Back in the day it was normal if a manager would get time. Nowadays if you lose 6 times you're out. And is that the solution? In that way, I'm a little bit. I give someone time. Give him, especially if it's a kid from the club. If he has absolutely the best and only the best for the club, give him time. Is he going to change to find a new manager now after a bad run? And then so what? He will have maybe a good start, and then they will be in the same position. Nowadays, is as well. If you look at the news, if you hear stories. It's like it's so business-wise. If a player has a couple of bad games, okay, sell him. If he doesn't score a few goals, okay, he's out, he's finished. And like back in the days, you used to get more time. I have that feeling. Maybe it's my personal experience as well. Back in the days, you get time. You can make mistakes. You can get a really silly red card. You can learn. And nowadays, I have the feeling that time is less. And ideally, you would get time as a player, as a coach.
There's a question I've been dying to ask you. Would you have given up your Premier League title at Manchester United if it meant becoming an all-time legend of Arsenal?
Yeah, but it's a difficult one. It is, it went how it went, and at crucial moments you have to make tough decisions, and it was a very tough decision. But you have to stand behind them, and this is what I did. I know if you make decisions like that you're not going to please everyone, and that is something I learned quite a while ago, is that I will just be myself. I will make decisions about my life, and I will accept them, and I cannot please the whole world. It's impossible to please the whole world. And yeah, if I hurt people, I'm sorry, but that's me as well. I made that decision. And I stand by it, but that doesn't mean that I look in a negative way towards Arsenal. I'm actually thankful for Arsenal, and thankful for Manchester United, and thankful for the chances I had. Because the way I look is that I started to play football as a very young guy who had nothing really, just a tracksuit and a ball. And yeah, and then to end up to have a career like this and a life like this, and to become the person I am today, I think. I stand behind myself as well, and I've learned, I've made so many mistakes, but I did big things as well, and I'm just proud of that. And I think you have to see it as a bigger picture, and not only by was it the right call or not. And yeah, it was how it was, and that's me.
What do you make of Arsenal now under Unai Emery?
Yeah, it is quite hard to really have an opinion on that, because I don't see every single game, but I still watch quite a few games. If I'm correct, they just missed the Champions League.
But they've got a chance.
But they've got a chance now, eh? Yeah. So Europe League final. Yeah, it is tough. The English league is tough. It is, in my opinion, the best league in the world. It has everything. It's technical, it's physical, loads of goals, full stadiums, fantastic pitches. It's the best place to play football, in my opinion. And it's so tough. I think you've seen it now during this season. Liverpool reached to 97 points and they're still second, which is incredible. So it tells the whole story how difficult it is to win there. I know that because I have won Premier League title, so I know how hard it is. And the football is changing as well. Football is getting faster and more physical and more based on stats, and everyone knows everything about each other. when I first arrived, the whole stats thing, Arsene was the only one and the first one who was looking at the stats. And after that, if you look now, you have whole like teams based on working with stats and opponents, and so football is changing and it's getting faster and exciting. But it is a very tough league to play in. Yeah.
How do you think they'll get on in the Europa League final against Chelsea?
Personally, I think that Arsenal has the edge. I think that they're a little bit better, but Chelsea has Hazard, and Hazard is a very special player. So he can do at any time, he can come up with something special.
Do you think there's something missing at Arsenal to take that leap to the next level? What do they need to do to get back there? Can they get back there, Robin?
Of course they can, yes. Because they're close already. They're close, and they've been close for so many years. They've won as well in the period of Arsene before me. I think Arsene has 3 or 4 Premier League titles. The invincible fellas, of course. So it goes in periods. You know. Yeah. Now you have City, who's doing unbelievable. To win back-to-back titles is very special. That shows really that you're a proper team. But it goes in phases. Maybe Pep will leave next year, and then that does something to a club. And maybe then Liverpool will take over, and they will dominate for the next few years. But Arsenal, well, what do they have to do? Yeah, it's difficult from my point of view here to really have an opinion about it. But I hope and I wish them all the best that they do win the title. But I know how difficult it is.
You had a great career also with the Netherlands, let's not forget. You reached a World Cup final. They now have a very good crop of young players, it would seem, coming through. How good are they? England are going to be playing against them soon in the Nations League. Is this the rebirth of Dutch football?
I was there when, in my last period with the national team. It was quite a tough period. We were losing, didn't qualify for the Euros. It was tough. And then they said, but how are we coming out of this? And I said, yeah, you have periods where it just doesn't go your way. I said, be patient. I said, there are loads of young guys coming through. So just be patient, I told everyone. I said, we're having a bad spell now, okay. We had some great times. In my first 10 years, we qualified very easy for the World Cup, for the Euros. We've been doing well there over the years. We became second, third during the World Cup. So it's nice when you're winning. It's always nice. Everyone is having fun and enjoying themselves, and to do interviews is fun. But you have to be a man. You have to accept it as well if you lose. And so people were a little bit like, how is it going to end up? You know, I said, just be patient. I said, young guys will come through. And then this is just a bad period, and now the guys are doing amazing. You have lots of new young guys coming through, playing really well. They won the group stage of the Nations League. They will play England now. So now, since Koeman arrived, they're having a fantastic period, and it will keep going up and down for the next 100 years. That's how it goes. That's football. Yeah, we have to accept it. In the meantime, people write about it, people speak about it. It is the business as well, you know, and in any situation, a good one or a bad one, accept how it is and live by that. And it will go up and down. That's how it is.
And the Women's World Cup is coming up as well. How do you think the Netherlands will do in that?
They're very good. They won the Euros. They have very good players. They play at Arsenal, Ajax, Bayern Munich. They play at the biggest teams. Lyon, the women of Lyon are very good. So exciting, and I'm a fan of women football. I like it, and if I can watch it and support them.
How do you want to be remembered? You're not dead yet.
No, I know, but it's it is some sort of a very good friend of mine. He's standing behind the cameras. He said, once you retire, you end up in a small crisis. Yeah, you can deny it or not. It is a very weird feeling, you know, to stop, because this is what I've been doing my whole life, and I don't know better. From the age of 5, I've been doing keepy-ups and passing against the wall, and that ended up in a fantastic road trip. And But it is a very weird feeling now to stop that part of my life. But exciting as well. That is my comfort zone. I feel happiest on the football pitch is where I'm myself, where I can explore and I can be creative. But life's not over, you know. There will come new challenges, there will be new adventures, there will be disappointments, there will be fantastic moments. But yeah, I will. It is a nice thing to explore that as well. A new life, whatever that will be.
What are your plans?
I will not take on big commitments in the next year, because although I'm very thankful for the life I have now and I had, but it is, if you're on that football train, it's like you have to report at 9 o'clock, you have to go on pre-season, you have to be there, you have to perform. It's like you have to do a lot of things. Now I don't have to do anything for the moment.
Boucher and the kids will be happy.
Yeah, so I can be the coach of my own life, and I can fill it in how I want to fill it in. But I want to bring some sort of structure in that, and still be busy with sports, tennis, swimming, be active, but mainly just to enjoy that little bit of freedom I have now, which I never had.
Later a great coach or not?
Yeah, I don't know. I will. I can do my papers tomorrow if I want to. But I've sort of decided to wait a little bit with that. There's plenty of time to be a coach if I want to be a coach, and that is very different to being a football player, a coach. And I see that, and so I have to learn that as well. And you have to start as a baby, basically, to be a coach. And if I go that road, that's how I see it as well. I have to learn, and then I will make mistakes again. But over the years, of course, I've learned a lot as well about the game, about my own game, about systems, tactics, how to manage. I had so many great managers over the years. Over the years, I learned from each and single one of them, because as a manager, you are the coach of 25 players, plus 15 staff, plus directors. You have to manage all of these groups, and that is completely different than focusing on your own performance as a player. So if I go that road, it's a new adventure again. But I don't know if I will. But we will see. We will see what comes along.
Well, it's been a great road trip, as you describe it. I think some people would like that road trip, and your words have been beautiful. It's been an absolute pleasure to spend time with you as well, and to watch your whole career.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's it for another episode of the podcast. You can see more of the interview with Robin Van Persie across BBC News and the BBC Sport website in the next few days. In the coming weeks, the Football Daily will bring you more specials. You'll hear exclusive interviews with both managers who are in the Champions League final, Jurgen Klopp and Maurizio Pochettino. Thanks for listening, and remember to subscribe via BBC Sounds.